You have $1.5 million saved, you're 61 years old. Do you have enough money to retire? Today we'll break down exactly what you need to look at, the process you should follow, tips to understand whether that's enough to make it all the way through retirement, and then some. Hey guys, glad to be back with you. My name is Jett, Vice President and Wealth Advisor at W.A. Smith Financial. We are a team of fiduciary advisors helping people all over the United States understand their investments and their money on their journey to financial peace of mind. If at any point during today's video you feel like you're compelled to have us put you through the same scenario example to see how you look and whether you have enough money to retire, just go to the link in the description below to schedule your complimentary retirement tune-up financial review. Now let's jump into today's example. Recently I had a client that I've been working with come in for a strategy meeting, and we were talking about their pending retirement. For the longest time leading up to this point, the retirement target for Tom was a few years out still. Only something had changed. When we sat down, he was really interested in retiring early. And we see this a lot. I have a lot of times where I meet someone, we put a plan together for them, they have a target date out into the distance, and then as the years get closer and closer, that timeline tends to shrink, which is understandable. You achieve success, you have a lot of money saved up, maybe your spouse is retired or your friends are retired and you're like, man, I really got to get there. So Tom came into me and the main purpose of the meeting was, hey, Jarrett, can we retire a little earlier than we had planned? So Tom and Judy, his wife, they had talked about this and they were wondering if they had saved enough money, Tom at age 61, Judy around the same age, where they had $1.5 million accumulated for retirement. It's been growing, they've been contributing to it. And can we push that retirement date forward? Can we get Tom out of the workplace sooner than we originally had thought? Now on the surface, you might think in general, without knowing a lot of the details, that having $1.5 million at age 61, depending on your lifestyle, should be plenty of money to retire. Now it depends on a lot of things. You can see all kinds of different articles that point you one way or another. You need $1 million to retire, you need $2 million, you need $5 million. At the end of the day, it really matters what you spend and what your lifestyle looks like. We talk about this in all kinds of our other videos where you have to truly understand your budget. You need to know exactly what it's going to take for you to live comfortably and happy to be able to determine, is what you have saved actually enough to fund the rest of your life without ever receiving a paycheck from a job or from an employer ever again. Now let me break down more specifically Tom and Judy's scenario here. So Tom has been working for a long time, and almost everything, roughly 100%, or really close to it if you exclude their bank account funds that they had saved, it is 100%. All of their money has been saved in qualified retirement accounts. Qualified retirement means 401k, IRA, Roth IRA. If you look at the 401k and the IRA specifically, when Tom and Judy go to start spending those dollars and they take distributions or withdrawals from those accounts, they're going to have to pay income taxes on that from a federal level, and depending on their state, potentially state income tax as well. So they've got all qualified money and they have a really firm handle on their budget. They know that to live the life they want to live, which means all basic expenses are covered, all of their discretionary expenses are covered, hobbies, vacations, gift giving, philanthropic types of things, charity, they need to have about $7,000 per month coming into their bank account. Now that's a net amount, so that excludes 401k contributions and it excludes taxes coming out of their paycheck. The net amount that they see hit their bank account needs to be $7,000 every single month, and they're pretty confident, based on QuickBooks and years worth of projections that Tom had done himself, that if they have $7,000 a month coming in, they can make this happen. Now, while Tom wants to retire early, for Judy, it's a little bit of a different story. She likes her job still. She's still comfortable with it. She works in the school system, so she wants to stay on a little bit longer. She wants to stay on roughly one more employment year past Tom's retirement date. For Tom, if he wants to retire in the new year, he would look to mid-year once his PTO, or his paid time off, is through, and he gets past the first quarter where he can earn a bonus through the company. So he's targeting June of the following year. Now this is a great point for me to jump up to the board and show you exactly what I would do with Tom and Judy. Simply knowing that Tom and Judy have 1.5 million and they're 61 is not nearly enough information for us to determine whether they have enough to successfully retire. So we have to start looking at some of the intertwining things that are going on with their income and their cash flow and their time stamps, which I'm going to explain with an example when we get to the board. But before I do, if you're a time traveler and you're out there watching this a few years into the future, this still applies. We're using a 2023 into 2024 example. Welcome to the channel. If you're late to it and you're here multiple years later, glad to have you. But just so you don't get confused, we are talking in current time when I record this video. So let's jump into it. I mentioned Tom wants to retire early, and he wants to retire in June of 2024. That's the point where he'll get his PTO, he'll get his time paid out to him, he'll get a bonus, and so after that point he gets all the free money that's awarded to him that he's entitled to, and he feels like he's free to take the leap. Judy's going to work a little bit beyond, so we're fast forwarding to the point where Tom and Judy right now, while they're both working, they live off of the paychecks. They don't have any additional distribution needs, so their portfolio is in accumulation mode. When Tom retires, they're going to flip into distribution mode or income phase, and that's where everything starts. So if you look at phase one, I've built this into 3 different buckets. Phase one here, we notice that in June of 2024, that's when Tom will have received his last paycheck, and they will need to come up with some supplemental income to replace his paycheck through his employer. We know that they want $7,000 a month to make their lifestyle go. That's the special number for them. We also know Judy is going to continue working, and after everything that comes out of her paycheck, the net amount that hits their bank account when she gets paid is about $2,000 per month. Those are Judy's wages. So we know they need $7,000. We know that the only paycheck that's coming in is Judy's paycheck. After taxes, $2,000 a month. The simple math tells me that they're going to have a $5,000 a month gap or shortfall in order to make their life go the way they want it to go. If we know that 100% of their retirement funds, as I stated before, are qualified, if they pull $5,000 a month out of their retirement pool, they're going to owe federal and state income taxes on that. So we have to gross this number up. $5,000 a month is the net amount after taxes that they need. We're assuming a 20% tax is going to be owed on those distributions. So if we take out $6,250 a month before tax, we withhold the tax that they're going to need from said payment, they will net a paycheck of $5,000 a month. This is effectively phase one of their income distribution plan. You notice phase one is a rather short period of time because after November of 2024, we have a triggering event that will occur. In November of 24, we will still have Judy's wages of $2,000 a month, but now Tom will be eligible to start collecting his Social Security benefit. So we're going to turn that Social Security benefit on. Tom is going to get $2,400 a month. We've already factored that he's taken it early and that we feel like that makes more sense. Now that's a debatable subject that we won't go into today, whether you take it earlier or you take it later. After some tax withholding that we've incorporated into this, we expect that Tom will net a Social Security paycheck of roughly $2,400 a month. So now we have 2 paychecks coming in. We have Judy's wages, we have Tom's Social Security paycheck, and the shortfall is smaller. It's only $2,600 a month now. And in the same tax assumption, if we gross that up, they will have to withdraw $3,250 per month from their retirement pool and their investment savings. That period runs from December of 2024, another short period of time, through June of the following year, 2025, when we have yet another triggering event occurs. This is when Judy's school year will end and she will choose to retire. So we move on to phase 3. This is July of 2025 and forward. They still want $7,000 a month. They still have Tom's Social Security coming in. Now Judy's wages have disappeared from our equation, but what we've replaced her wages with is her Social Security that she's entitled to collect at that time, and also a pension she will be entitled to collect. Now, Judy's wages her Social Security is rather small because she has a government pension, which involves what's called windfall elimination provision. That simply means that her pension is going to affect her Social Security in a negative way. And we've calculated that out to be she will collect about $400 per month from Social Security due to WEP, or windfall elimination provision. You run the math down, they still need $3,510 every single month. And when we gross that up to include taxes, the final number is $4,387 every month that they will have to pull out of their retirement funds to make this lifestyle go. Now, before you get all hot and bothered, yes, we can consider inflation, we can consider cost of living, and we consider that, hey, maybe $7,000 a month is not always going to be enough for them. A lot of things can change. To keep this example simple, we can start factoring those things in, and that's when additional phases will occur. A lot of times we'll see a client will say, hey, 5 years from now I want to see it go to $8,000 a month because I'm expecting that I'll need to spend more to maintain the same standard of living due to inflation and healthcare costs and increasing expenses, etc. So we can get into that, but to keep it simple, to answer the question, do they have enough? That's what you came here for. That's what they wanted to know. We can use some simple withdrawal rate mathematics here to understand if they potentially have enough. Remember, you have to make the right decisions. You have to have the right investment plan, the right allocation. You have to take your risk tolerance into control. And those are all additional topics that I will discuss with Tom and Judy to make sure that we all agree that they can pull the trigger early. But if we take $4,387, which is the monthly amount that Tom and Judy will have to pull out probably throughout the rest of their retirement days, we multiply that by 12 months in every calendar year. That's $52,644 before tax that they withdraw from that $1.5 million. We divide that number by $1.5 million, and it comes out to 3.5% annually. So Tom and Judy are going to pull 3.5% as a withdrawal of their $1.5 million nest egg every single year. That is what you call their safe withdrawal rate. You can argue 4% is a number. Dr. Wade Pfau at the American College believes that 3% is a better number. This ultimately depends on how you invest your money, what your risk tolerance is. Another thing to consider here is if they're taking 3.5% out of their portfolio, but their portfolio earns through interest at least 3.5% in growth per year, they are effectively living in retirement off of the interest their portfolio makes. I had the conversation with Tom and Judy to finalize this and said, hey, what are your legacy goals? Do you want to leave a lot of money to your kids? Do you want to leave some money to your kids? Or as my father told me, do you want to have the last check bounce as you breathe your last breath? And they do have some legacy desire, but they don't feel it's necessary to leave their kids the entire pie. In this case, I educated them that they could arguably have a higher withdrawal rate and bleed the portfolio down a little bit over time, even if the interest they earn doesn't keep up with their withdrawal, and that would still be a successful, effective way to view their retirement path. If you want to see us run a few different numbers or a different example, just drop that in the comments below. Or better yet, if you want us to run your specific example, hit the link in the description and request your complimentary retirement tune-up financial review, and we will run you through this exact same process so you can see if you have enough money to retire. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn your bell notifications on so that you're aware of our next post, and I'll see you next time.